So what are we talking about this morning?
Well, it's Firearms
in
Friday,
the world
baby.
Of DGUs. It is Firearms Friday.
And we've kind of got the ultimate DGU, right?
Like, this DGU has literally everything.
Oh, you know what it has? It has a 22-year-old yeeted an active shooter in 15 seconds by firing 10 rounds and making 8 hits from 40 yards.
And we're going to talk about that a little bit.
With a Glock 2 weeks after constitutional carry was passed.
And we're going to talk about that a little bit.
While supposedly in a gun-free zone.
And we're going to talk about that a lot.
I've said this before. When I worked in Stonecrest Mall, the mall that Oprah said was awesome. Remember when Oprah said Stonecrest Mall was awesome?
You mean when Oprah signed a warrant of execution for the city of Stonecrest before the city of Stonecrest
exactly.
attempted to annex itself away from, what was it before that? Was it Decatur?
It was some part of Lithonia, I think.
And wow, the graft and corruption in that city, in that tiny little city government, like, I've got inside on that. Woo! Woo!
Look, Stonecrest was incepted on graft and corruption.
Yes.
Like and that's all there was left, too, because the mall is basically a failure already. Like, it's sad. But look, the doors, wait, all the doors had this cute sign. It didn't just say this is a gun-free zone. It said this is a weapon-free zone.
Right.
It specifically was like, you're not bringing mace, you're not bringing knives, and I would just like rub my lower back and be like, yep, I guess it was a gun-free zone.
Yes, it was. And, so at Stonecrest, guys, okay, this is off topic. We'll get back, but just for a little context, we live in Conyers currently, where Walmart has the DVDs and thumb drives under lock and key, right? Stonecrest is so bad that Best Buy closed their store and moved it here because of the amount of inventory loss to just petty theft. Right. I've had my truck broken into and robbed twice in my driveway in the last 5 years in this city, and Best Buy closed their store down in the town next door to move here. Here we go. We're all human. I wish you both nothing but happiness and safety. Well, thank you very much. Name that I can hardly read, Matt 240p. Oh, 240p, low resolution. That's why I can hardly read your name. It has nothing to do with the bad contrast of the color. I just hope someday you'll both have a more wide and accepting view on the world, and you'll find the truth of the world. God bless you both. Well, God bless you too, Matt, and I hope that you never actually have to draw your weapon in self-defense. But if it comes to that, I hope to God that you're armed and ready to survive and save lives, as is the divine responsibility of every man.
Yeah, and let's just be crystal clear. What Elijah did was what a man is supposed to do.
Elijah recognized what was going on at a time when this was basically, he walked out of the bathroom and this happened. There was a firefight!
See, now I'm going to finish making my point because you obviously didn't have the buttons ready. You interrupted me for nothing.
Not nothing. I mean, it was there.
There was a firefight!
Anyhow. No, look, what he did was what a man should do because let's be clear. Yes, gun-free zone. It's weird. It's like these psychopaths deliberately target a specific type of soft target. I can't put my finger on it. But look, let's just, all jokes aside, okay, what this man did, and I mean man, did was utterly amazing, okay? So he's in the bathroom, right? Apparently, the psychotic shooter was there, hung out in the bathroom for like 45 minutes to an hour, like assembling his gear and psyching himself out, and like he was just going to go on a rampage. There were probably going to be dozens of casualties, okay? Because the mall was a gun-free zone. And then our hero, and hero is the correct word, no matter what the view would tell you. Our hero was like, hey, it sounds like gunfire. Walks out of the bathroom, assesses the situation, draws his weapon, begins getting people behind him, closes the distance with the shooter, squeezes off 10 rounds from a pistol at 40 yards, hits him with 8 of them, and I mean DRT, baby. DRT.
The DRT goes...
See, you were so worried about the other bullshit button. You didn't have the regular button ready to go.
My man, there's a lot of steps to set this shit up.
I know.
I was doing a stream for money last night. I had to reset everything.
Okay. All right. So what he did is nothing short of amazing. I can't stress enough, like even going to the range and practicing at 40 and 50 yards, that's hard enough to do with a pistol. Okay?
Yes.
When there's screaming people everywhere and your blood is pounding in your ears and you're not 100% sure of the situation, the fact that this kid took a read of the area, correctly assessed the threat, and let's say liquidated the threat. I like that phrase, liquidated the threat. Because anytime you hit somebody with 8 rounds, a certain portion of them becomes liquid.
Yes.
Right?
That is correct. Okay, so Matt has another long and wordy commentary, but it's vagary, and you're right. Elijah did an amazing thing, but everything after, I just want to acknowledge, shut up. If you don't have a specific point to make, I don't have time for your vagaries and nuncery. So move along or make a specific claim, and we can have a conversation about that. And
this is how. Well, he says, I just want to acknowledge how we got to this. I just want to acknowledge how we got to the point where someone had to prevent this person from doing a shooting.
Yes, you got there by disarming lawful citizens.
Yeah, by having a gun-free zone. Also, this is how you prevent somebody from doing one of these shootings. You don't have gun-free zones. Period.
Correct. Right. The only thing that could have gone better in this shooting at the mall is that half the people in the room stand up and draw down on the enemy.
Yes. It could have gone better if there were no gun-free zone stickers on the side of the door of the mall.
We just said the same thing.
Yeah, we did, didn't we? All right.
And now let me talk about some of the criticism. One of the criticisms here, the people are asking, the lefties are saying, well, there have been 400 some odd shootings since the year 2000, and only 22 of them have been stopped by an armed Good Samaritan. And of those, half of those were either off-duty cops or security guards. Okay, that the off-duty cop is more likely to be armed than the average civilian is a big factor there. And as far as the whole, well, there have only been 22, yes. And with the exception of the Lubies in Texas, they have all occurred in so-called gun-free zones. Now, I want to take a look. I want to take y'all for a moment to this thing on The View where they're talking about it. And we're going to go through this little by little. It's a 1.5-minute clip. We're not going to watch the whole 1.5-minute clip.
What happened to Whoopi? Did she dye her dreads black?
They say that a good guy with a...
It's... She went into get her hair did, and she said, "Blackface is everywhere now. I need me some of that blackface."
Okay.
Gun can control a bad guy with a gun. Well, we saw in Uvalde that that's not true. And you...
Okay.
Actually, we saw in Uvalde that's absolutely true, you fucking sock puppet.
More importantly, in Uvalde, we have several stories where armed parents, including not less than 2 separate off-duty police officers, attempted to enter to do what needed to be done and were prevented by the police on the scene from doing the right thing. They were prevented, and keep in mind, when I say these next words, I am explicitly talking about the police in Uvalde. These good guys with guns were prevented by bad men with guns from doing the right thing. And I'm going to qualify that a little further. I don't mean bad men as in the Uvalde police were evil. or had nefarious intent. I mean that they are of poor quality.
Yeah, they suck at being men. If you can be covered in body armor and have riot shielding, and I mean, you reach a certain point where like one guy with an AR-15 versus 30 guys armed with 22s. The 30 guys armed with 22s, at some point the numbers are just on your side, right? It has to be that way. And oh yeah, it's the kids. Think of the children. If it could save even just one life. Oh God. The way the left says things like this unironically, and they don't understand how wrong they are, just blows my mind. We saw this in Uvalde. Yes, bitch, we saw the exact same thing in Uvalde, and it proved the point that good guys with guns do stop bad guys with guns, and the inaction of good guys with guns allows the proliferation of bad guys with guns. I'm just saying, 77 minutes versus 15 seconds.
And I'm gonna go ahead and, this is really a pushback, but I'm gonna say that an inactive man with a gun is not a good guy with a gun. If you are not dangerous, if you do not have the capacity to do terrifying, active, immediate violence when the need is there, you're not a good man. You're simply harmless. If you have the capacity to do extraordinary violence and eliminate the enemy in order to save lives, and you restrain yourself, and you do not use that power, just willy-nilly, then the fact of the matter is you're a good man with the capacity to do good by eliminating evil. If you have that capacity and you refrain from entering the classroom to save dozens of children's lives, you're not a bad man. You're not a good man. You're a low-quality, harmless pet.
So real quick, your wife says, arm the teachers. If you're not willing to take a shot at someone trying to steal or harm your students, what kind of a teacher are you? And yes, absolutely. The Steve says, no one is coming to help. It's up to you. Yes, that is a thing that you should carry with you everywhere. And not just in self-defense, okay? In your life, it is nobody's job to help you but you. Period. Does it suck that sometimes you have to go work overtime? Or does it suck that sometimes you have to spend your own money in order to go to school or start a business or buy a new vehicle? I've got to go make a car repair later today. I don't want to do it. It's going to be a pain in my cock. But I'm going to do it anyway because nobody else is going to do it unless I do it.
I'm sure as hell not going to do it for you. I got places to be.
And that would be a big pain in my cock.
Wow, I'm going to gloss right past that.
And then JDF joined us this morning. So,
good morning, sunshine.
Good morning, JDF. So, anyhow, that's what you have to do. Like, you take care of yourself. All right.
Oh, and the they're not coming for you. They're not coming to save you thing. This is another great example of that. He finished the fight in 15 seconds. The police arrived 11 minutes later.
Which is good response time.
And exactly. A call has to be made. The police have to be dispatched. They have to cover the distance from wherever they are to the scene. 11 minutes. Surprisingly decent. That's a lot of shit to happen. That's a lot of moving parts in 11 minutes. And that's part of the problem. It's not just that the police are inadequate to the task. It is that they cannot be made to be adequate to the task.
And honestly, you don't want to live in a world where you're compelled to take action. You really don't.
And another piece of that that's important to remember is, as we see in the SCOTUS case, Gonzalez versus Castle Rock, and many others, but Gonzalez and Castle Rock is the big say on this. The police do not have a duty to defend or protect you. If a police officer watches you being murdered, waits until you die, and then apprehends the suspect, takes him into custody and forward for prosecution, he has done everything that is required of him of the law, and the court will not find for you if your relative is the one that was murdered in front of the police officer, and you sue the department for negligent death or wrongful death, you can't sue them over that. They do not have a duty to intercede and stop or prevent crime. The only thing the law requires of the police officer is that they investigate the crime, arrest perpetrators, or arrest suspects, and bring them forward for prosecution. That every time you see a cop car that says to serve and protect, that is a lie. That is an outright falsehood.
It's propaganda. Makes you feel good about cops. Okay, look, let's get to it. Oh.
No, wrong button. I see what happened. I got to turn that thing off, and then we can do this.
We saw it in Buffalo.
Yes, we saw it in Buffalo.
But we saw that it is true in
Oh
Indiana.
yeah, we did see that in Buffalo,
Indiana.
a gun-free zone.
Look, that was a lucky moment. And you know what? I feel like that.
Oh, it was lucky.
It was lucky. It was lucky.
It was lucky. No, bitch, when you've got an 80% hit rate in the absolute nightmare scenario over half a football field, that's not luck. That's training.
Practice. Like 80% hit rate in a crowded room. I can do it. I've done it playing airsoft. I've done it on training ranges. I've done it with a rifle, not a pistol, in an actual war. I've done it with pistol in airsoft matches and on training ranges. Done it with a rifle in an actual war. I can do that because I've seen me do it. And you know what a big part of that was? Hours and hours of high stress, intentionally beyond the pale of expectation, difficult weapons training. Not just slapping one on and wearing it. So as much as I am an absolute proponent of go thee healed into that dark night, young master, go thee healed to the range on occasion as well. You need to get your shit straight and make sure that you're hitting what you're aiming at. What, lucky?
Look, and
No.
let me be clear. Lucky? Even if he was lucky? Still 1,000% on his side. In fact, I would prefer a world where there were dozens and dozens of armed citizens that had an opportunity to get lucky instead of being thankful that there was one.
Oh. My wife is shaming me in the chat for not having time to go to the range with her lately. Baby, I'll take you to the range. Hey, Sergeant Major, I need you to watch the kids, say next Wednesday evening. How's that?
Right. Yes, and Habeas agrees. 80% at 40 yards ain't luck. But still, even if it was luck would be hitting him with 1 or 2 rounds.
Correct.
Right? And even then, I'm still on Elijah's side. And I'm on the side of every person as some Joe Blow, some mom of 3 kids who's 40 years old that just doesn't want to be a victim, that goes and buys a 38 because she doesn't ever want to be in a situation where she can't defend her babies, okay? All right? Like it's lucky. God. The left cannot win with, well, no, they can't meme, true. But the left can't win without being liars.
Correct.
They cannot win their arguments without lying. And
They
some
can't
of them,
meme, they can't shoot, and they can't say legitimate words.
look, and sometimes and sometimes I have to wonder if the left can't lie because, like, look at her face. She is thinking. She appears to be sincere. She believes that this was luck.
Well,
This
she
is-
also believes the science like it was written in the Holy Scripture.
Look, she believes every word that comes out of my mouth, even though they contradict each other, because science changes over time.
Yeah. So there's another bit
If
of this I
you're a
want
good
to get
guy
to.
with a gun, you should not object to background checks or
Yes.
or
Yes, you should.
licensing
Yes,
or
you should.
You know, a limitation on military-style weapons.
Yes, you
Like,
should.
Yes, you should.
You don't know what a military style weapon is. You don't know what you're talking about. You're a fucking moron, Joy. You're an inadequate human being. And the licensing, background checks, all that stuff. Okay. All cases of licensure, including medical and law licenses, are a situation where an armed government has, on threat of your murder, taken from you a God-given right and sold it back to you at a price which is exorbitant and prohibitively high, with the explicit purpose of creating artificial scarcity in a marketplace, or controlling you and taking away from you the authority to survive.
Yeah. Oh, you have the right to do this thing, so let me take it away from you and sell it back to you. But that's not even the best part. It's 8 o'clock. Let's roll on.
Yeah.
Thousands at once?
I'm gonna
or
be
hundreds
real
at
late to that
once?
shoot this morning.
So why can't they just pull that off?
But with this Good Samaritan
Oh,
thing,
here we
listen,
go.
I was trained when I was at the Justice Department.
That's important. I was trained when I was at the Justice Department.
Right.
Remember that.
In firearms. And I was trained in defensive firearm training. It is very hard to hit a moving target. It is hard for people that are trained to hit a moving target.
True.
It is very lucky that Good Samaritan hit that moving target in that
No.
way. And he had a gun permit, but he wasn't supposed to be in the mall with a gun. So he broke the law.
So I pointed out that she said I was trained at the Justice Department. That's important to understand, because she just said that he was in the mall with a gun and he wasn't supposed to be there. If it is the policy of the mall, that is not the law. He did not break the law. Now, you look at the First Amendment. The Congress shall make no law, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The Second Amendment says shall not be infringed. It doesn't say that a certain body cannot infringe. It doesn't say that a certain body cannot make law. It says shall not be infringed.
It doesn't say who's allowed to infringe, does it?
Correct. It says that no one is allowed to infringe. So I put it to you that not only are any buildings which post a sign that say no weapons allowed in violation of that law, or in violation of the Second Amendment, I put it forward that they are representing that they have authority equivalent to the government, and that they are using that authority to deprive civilians and citizens of their natural right to keep and bear arms.
You know, they're just mad because everything in this story just wrecks their narrative.
Correct.
I mean, like, the Georgia Guidestones getting knocked over by a tomcat. Like, not a tomcat, a whatever, doesn't matter.
Bobcat.
Bobcat. Right. Narrative. Okay. Because bad guy with a gun ignored that gun-free zone sign. And then a good guy with a gun that's like, yeah, but I'm pretty sure we've got this constitutional carry thing going on in my state. Fuck it, I'm going to carry my pistol. Holy shit, I'm awfully glad I carried my pistol.
No shit.
Right? So it's not just wrong, it's a lie. And the fact that they want to say, like, she doesn't point out, for example, that, okay, sure, how about the murderer that broke the law by carrying his gun into a gun-free zone? Right?
Yeah, and I've got a little something about that too, and then I really do have to get going. There was this tweet: person with no reason to bring a loaded firearm to a mall food court shot by a person with no reason to bring a loaded firearm to a mall food court. And Jack Posobiec points out he did, in fact, have a reason.
I don't need a reason.
The shooter, even the shooter, had the right to keep and bear arms. He had the right to keep and carry that loaded firearm. What you do not have is the right to murder people. The left wants you to think that keeping and bearing arms, that carrying a firearm, is the same as committing murder. In very much the same way that they want you to believe that words are the same as violence.
Right.
They want you to believe that the capacity to do violence is the same as doing violence.
Alex from Polytech, and yes, I just dead named you. Stop transitioning. Alex from the TPS report says the ban is coming. Go buy your rifles today. Yes, going to cover that probably next Friday. However, I actually think it's going to give us a fantastic opportunity. I think, God bless it, now is going to be the chance to repeal federal gun laws. This is going to be where they go too far, and just like they went too far with Roe v. Wade, this is going to end up being the thing that makes them, and they regretted it. bitterly. There's a thing that's about to happen.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, so yes,
Okay, so that's part of what's going to happen with our
lean
background.
that way.
You lean that way.
I am leaning that way, shithead. Those are perfect. I could put those right on the wood backdrop too. Those would be brilliant. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
So I guess that saves the. We'll have that conversation later because I'm busy this morning. Okay, so let me go ahead and wrap this up with the safety brief because I really did need to leave half an hour ago.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we're going into the weekend, y'all. Be safe out there. If you happen to find yourself needing to go into a gun-free zone, well, stay strapped or get clapped.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go thee healed into that dark world and be prepared because evil men seek to do evil things.
Yeah, just seriously, gun-free zones at this point are evil.
The common citizen sleeps well in his bed at night because rough men stand ready to do violence on your behalf. Stay healed and be that rough man. America needs you. We love you. Be safe. And don't drive drink. Don't fry bacon naked. We'll see you Monday morning.